agree. That's why that thing is brilliant.
Is that the word of the night? Brilliant. I feel like that's the word of the night.
Have I been saying that a lot?
Yeah.
I have?
Yeah.
Oh.
What's the
Brilliant?
word of the night?
Have I been saying
Brilliant.
brilliant a lot?
Yeah, you actually.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna have to concur with him on this.
Like all the time or just now?
No, it's sort of become like, I don't know, since the Step Mania video.
Yeah. It's like, no, you're brilliant. At first, I was just like,
I was like, oh wow, thank you. And then I was like,
Thanks.
it's not that brilliant.
That's a good compliment.
I haven't.
And you just kept
noticed
using the word brilliant. I was like, oh.
I have a feeling that I've been saying that a lot recently.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. I don't know why. I like that word because it's so
It's
uncommon
And brilliant.
and brilliant. Yes.
Deluxe even.
Could I even go as far as to call it
Deluxe.
deluxe? Okay, so an actual topic.
Actual talent.
So I said like upcoming generations versus previous generations, like how it's gonna unfold. You said, Irish. You said genres. Like comparing
Led to specific like series.
okay, so genres leading into series, and Lolo, do you have
Okay, so what's the question? Like,
what topic? What are we talking about right now?
we could divulge into. We could divulge into many things. Well, because one, if we were to think about like what's going on right now.
Right.
Right?
Okay,
We could-
so here's a good. Okay, I got one. So now being the 15th, in 5 days, Sony is having a little bit of a conference showing off what's to be believed the PlayStation 4. And what's known about it so far is, well, the controller. I'll start with the controller. Is that they're dropping the DualShock line. And, well, there's been some supposed quote-unquote leaked images that I saw actually earlier today, and it looks pretty much identical to a DualShock controller.
Yeah. Leave it to Sony to not change anything.
Well, yeah.
If it
But
ain't broke, don't
the
fix
sticks, the sticks themselves, the analog sticks, instead of being like that ridiculous rounded,
it. Yeah.
knobby kind of thing, which was so uncomfortable, they're now indented in a sense, but there's still like a little bit of like a middle bump. Like think of like the Xboxes in that it like there's a center dip,
Yeah.
and then right in the center there's another orb-ish thing, which is kind of interesting. Button layout is the same. The D-pad is a little bit bigger. It's like thicker. I don't know if that's going to change anything.
Sorry, where did you see the?
I can actually pull up the picture so that you can. Where's my cell phone? Right there. So that you can actually see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But the biggest thing about this is that there is in the center of the controller where the PS button and the start and select button, there's now an LCD touchscreen. It's small.
Yeah, just this tiny little.
Tiny little LCD touchscreen.
That kind of, it kind of reminds me of, you guys ever see that, Logitech, like, I think it's the G19 keyboard or something?
Yeah,
It's got like an LCD screen.
Right at the top.
Right
yeah.
at the top.
Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of that for some reason.
You know, okay, think about like that LCD touchscreen, like about that size, I suppose. Maybe a little bit like thicker along the top and bottom, but
Why would they, okay.
smack in the middle, yeah.
Why would they put an LCD touchscreen though? Like.
Well, one, obviously, I'm just gonna make this point. Sony copies Nintendo.
Well,
Yeah.
they do, and it's kind of like like they kind of play it off like it's not blatant.
No, here.
But,
Even though it's absolutely blatant to every consumer.
yeah, no, and, like every other
Like-
person's like, "Hey, Sony, quit fucking with us!" Like,
Oh, and there's
you're
like
full of shit.
interesting. Okay, and also here's the picture. Also on the top of it, there is a weird PlayStation movie kind of LED bulby thingy. I'm not sure what to call it.
You know what the design kind of reminds me of? There was a wireless PlayStation 2 controller
Right.
like a while ago, and it had that same sort of like.
Like a Mad Catz controller, you mean?
No, it
Like
wasn't
a third party?
Yeah, it was third party, but like it looked like clunky. Sort
Yeah.
of. And that's kind of
As
what
most third party. Yeah,
That's
I
kinda
actually
what I-
thought that too.
Here, okay, I just grabbed a PS3 controller and let's compare this thing. Okay, so we can obviously tell that the actual grips themselves is wider.
Yeah, no, but like
Definitely wider.
The thing it actually looks bigger. Like it looks clunkier. That's my problem with it.
It does. Okay, so in comparison,
Like
'cause-
thicker.
Yeah, there's a USB 2 plug-in on that picture. in comparison, because we know how big USB 2 is, it's...
I'm wondering why they still want
I don't
to
know.
stick with USB 2 when USB 3 is like right around the corner.
Well, because not much needs to power these things, right? I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, like, if, like...
Because, I mean, okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be plugged in all the time, because remember, it connects through Bluetooth, if they're still using Bluetooth.
Yeah, I'm
So
assuming
the USB is actually just for charging the thing itself.
You know, I'm starting to think that, like, maybe... I don't think they would do Bluetooth for that controller.
No?
I think they might actually just, like, go back to the traditional plugged-in.
You think?
Well, because you're powering an LCD display, right?
Well...
And, like, there's already criticisms coming out about Nintendo's Wii U gamepad on how long it lasts.
I suppose.
And so Sony's trying to, like, curb that, maybe.
Um...
I would see Sony being, like, doing something like that.
I would say yes to maybe the battery life thing, but no to that wireless is now just a standard for the industry. For the industry. It is just standard. You think gaming controllers, you think you're not being tied down by wires. And if there are wires, they are ridiculously long.
I suppose, yeah.
Like spanning across your entire basement.
But that would be a good way to curb that problem.
It would be, yes. Which is why I think they're going to stick with wireless, but have an optional like they do now to plug
Yeah,
in.
no. Well, yeah. That would also be another way too.
Yeah. Because that's one thing that the Wii U does lack. Like, okay, no, I guess it doesn't lack it in the sense that you can dock it, but you don't directly plug it into the system, so you don't have that direct data link that would reduce the... Because the way the gamepad doesn't actually connect to the Wii U using Bluetooth, it actually connects using a form of like Wi-Fi technology, just a different frequency of it.
Yeah, no, I forget what it's called, but yeah.
No, it's Wi-Fi.
Is it Wi-Fi?
It is Wi-Fi.
Oh.
Just a different frequency, so it's not the same as, you know, like your wireless network in your house.
Oh yeah, of course, because otherwise wouldn't it just interfere?
Major interference, yeah. So it's a different band, but it is Wi-Fi, because Wi-Fi, it transfers more data. If I know this correctly, Wi-Fi does transfer more data over Bluetooth than Bluetooth does.
Okay.
Which is why you can get that latency-free or almost latency-free display when looking at the gamepad in comparison to, say, your main TV, which is hooked up, you know, composite or...
Well, it's like streaming, isn't it?
It is streaming. That's literally what it is.
Let's discuss for a minute what like this screen could possibly be used
Right. Okay. Yeah. So this,
because it's not
PS3 controller.
It's not
4 controller. Yeah.
It's not big enough to do what the Wii U does.
No.
Obviously.
Absolutely not.
And
It is a
It's-
touch sensor, though. We do know that for sure.
but it's not even big enough to do what a 3DS does. It's even just like a tap thing. I don't
Looking
think.
at the controller side
I'm
by side,
wondering-
it is wider. You can tell it's wider, but it would be like this big then. This big by this big. So let's say like 4 inches wide by like 2 inches tall.
Yeah.
Well, does it still have the same 6-axis? Does it still have that
Like the 6-axis motion thing.
motion control?
Yeah, the quote-unquote
motion control.
which I've seen in like a
would,
game.
are they gonna keep that technology, or are they gonna refine it more, or have they made any statement?
I really don't know about that. All I know is that the DualShock, like, cause you know this is DualShock 3.
Yeah.
They are dropping DualShock.
Yeah.
And I'm not exactly sure what classifies this as DualShock when that looks exactly the same and that doesn't have a DualShock name.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I was wondering,
comparison-
what is DualShock? What is
I
it?
thought at first it was like the 2 grips plus like the 2 analog sticks. That was like DualShock.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Because
too.
they're like the shock coming from the fact that there are 2 motors inside of each of the handles.
Yeah.
For the vibration, yeah.
Yeah.
But that in combination with like the 2 analog stick. I don't know if I'm correct with that. I'm probably just like bullshitting that completely.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought it was too.
But yeah, that's DualShock. So I don't know why they would be dropping it and not just going for DualShock 4.
Or maybe they're just like changing the name of it rather.
They
than,
could be, yeah. Anyway,
Or just like rebranding it.
rebranding it, exactly. Anyway, okay, so back to what this LCD touchscreen could do. Okay, so I don't know how big the resolution on that thing could be, so I'm not sure if that would be like we could get like a little bit of like a Vita kind of action going.
I'm wondering if it's more just like prompts. Like, what if it's just like what would be a good example?
like say you're playing like an action hack and slash, you could hit like a or like you're doing a good combo and you could get like a cool finishing move. You like tap that or something,
or like swipe across it or something.
Okay, I see. Interesting.
Yeah, I honestly can't see what
it's too small to be anything. I don't know.
Well, I don't even think it's size. Rather, it's just like function.
Function, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you look at like the Wii U gamepad, right?
That screen is big enough to do really anything. It's its own screen.
Well, yeah, but I mean, aside from that, like, I don't know, like the way it's laid out, right?
Right.
Like if you look at this controller here,
yeah,
right? Like you see that like the analog sticks are underneath the screen and the buttons are like to the side.
Yes.
Right. So then when you're playing the game, and like at a certain point you have to utilize that screen, that's gonna be awkward as hell to like hold it with one hand and then swipe across or do whatever, right?
Right, especially if it is going to be wider, because this thing does look wider in general.
And thicker.
And the grips are thicker, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I mean, like, what's... I just don't know what the form... Like, what the function of it is.
It also looks like they're redesigning the shoulder buttons as well, if you're looking at this in comparison, too.
But what I'm... Like,
wider, a lot wider.
What...
More bumperish, like Xbox bumper.
What could have possibly be is, like, it's just simply like a gimmick, like a display thing. So it's like when you start up the PlayStation, it's like PlayStation on the fucking.
Oh, you think?
No, no.
I wouldn't put it beneath stone.
It would all be dependent on what the actual resolution and, excuse me, if it's a capacitive or resistive screen. Right. So like is it resistive as in like the DS's touchscreen where you have one touch and it's like based on where you're actually pushing the screen and like you can see the screen bending under the stylus' pressure.
Right.
Or capacitive, like our cell phones, where it's multi-touch and it's all like touch-based,
Yeah.
That would all be dependent. Based on like my Vita, it is capacitive. I think it's multi-touch. Probably is if it's capacitive, but the resolution.
I believe it is. I believe it is multi-touch.
Yeah. I would be surprised if it wasn't. But it's all dependent on the resolution, because really the resolution depicts on what information can be displayed on it, whether it be say like just a HUD. Like, think like Zelda, and you can see your hearts or something like that, your hearts and magic meter.
Yeah.
Or, if it can be like, say you're fighting an enemy in a hack and slash or something like that, the enemy's HP appears on there with like the description of the enemy, their stats, whatever else.
Yeah.
Like, it's all really relative to the resolution, because that's how many pixels you can display, and that's the amount of detail you can put into it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a capacitive touchscreen.
I don't know. It's like, I think right now, it's better to just leave it to what Sony says.
Yeah, Sony says they're gonna
because
do
right now, like it seems like when they just say like, here's a controller, like what we can do with it seems very vague. Like that's the feeling I get, is it's sort of just like when I look at that, I'm just like, what the fuck do I do with that?
No, exactly. Well, on top of that, there's also supposed to be a biometric sensor in both the grips, or somewhere on there, like where you're holding, like maybe up the sides or in the grip somewhere.
Why?
A biometric sensor. So, I don't know, like so measuring heart rate, something. Why? I don't know. I know Nintendo tried this with the heart meter that came with Oh, maybe it wasn't even launched. I don't think it actually launched. Well, it was like a heart meter that, you put on your finger, and I think it was supposed to be an attachment with Wii Fit. In that sense, it makes sense, because, it just clips onto your finger, and you're just doing Wii Fit. But this is a controller. If you were to do any fitness games, you can't, like, just be holding the controller and jumping around.
Obviously, that's not the
with your
purpose.
Motion controller.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm just, obviously, that's not the intended purpose.
No,
no
that
one's
can't be
doing that, but, like, when you think, like, a biometric sensor, it's like, okay, like, I can understand, like, the appeal of that technology, like, melding the digital world with the real world.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I don't think it's there yet. And
I'm kind of having a thought. So say you're playing, say it is like, a heart meter or a heart measure or whatever.
Yeah.
Heartbeat. Heart rates, that's it. Say you're playing a game like Dead Space or something like that, like a very freaky game.
Yeah.
Well, not 2 or 3, because those aren't really freaky, but that's besides the point. You're playing a horror game.
Don't tell them it's bad.
Oh, I love them. They just weren't as scary as number 1. Yeah. The first one had a much better environment. That's a different conversation. Say you're playing a horror game, and depending on how fast your heart rate is going, so it gets freakier, and you jump or whatever, or you're getting tense, you're gripping the controllers tighter. the game will detect that you're getting like more and more freaked
So
out.
then is
So then
that-
they just crank that level of just scare. So like say, you know, something was going to jump out at you. Something was going to jump out at you like normal if you were just under like normal conditions.
Yeah.
But if you were under like that tense, insane moment, they would like dim out the ambient sound and just make everything quiet, start making maybe some lights flicker and whatnot, and that thing jumps out at you, and just a huge sound as well, instead of just the thing jumping out at you in normal.
So then is like, I wonder then if that is what they're planning to do with like the console.
Yeah.
Like, is that what's going to make their games so platform specific? Is just reading our fucking heart rate? Because I think because now if we want to talk about gimmicks. Like,
Yeah, okay, no, that is gimmick as balls.
like
that,
I just
yeah.
I just want to say right now, like a lot of people criticize like Nintendo and Kinect and PlayStation Move for being gimmicky because of motion control. You want to talk about fucking gimmick? Like that would just be unbearable. Like I think at that point, I would much rather just go back to fucking waggling a stick around in Skyward Sword.
No, I hear you, because, well, a biometric sensor. Let's just break that down for a second. A bio.
I love how this
Life.
actually like affected us quite deeply. We're just like, are you fucking kidding? Like,
Well, I mean,
heartbeat
No,
sensor?
okay,
What
if you
is
wanna,
this
if
shit?
that's gonna be the selling point of the controller, they have to sell it correctly. They have to market it, especially because
I don't even think marketing would help it.
Well,
Like,
in Sony's case, no, because they don't market anything. But that
well, they try to.
they fail to. Actually,
Moving on.
I asked. Well, no, actually, on that, I asked. Who was it? Winger? May have been Winger. I was like, have you seen any on this kind of conversation? I was like, have you seen anything about the new God of War? His response immediately, "There's a new God of War."
no, that was me.
Oh, that was you? Okay, yeah.
that was-
And I was like, exactly. That's exactly it. It was announced a while ago already, and it's supposed to be coming. Actually, if it may have already
To be
come
honest,
out. Is it out already?
I don't know. Actually,
See, I don't even know if it's out already.
No, to be honest, I actually didn't know they were making a new God of War either.
See, exactly.
What? It's like, oh.
I'm, like maybe it's just gotten to the point now, like in this generation, because like I'm like, I don't know. I'm finding in this generation in particular, like I've stopped giving a shit about like all of the new releases.
Oh.
Like all of them have kind of just like fallen flat in my brain.
Mm.
And yet
A lot of the new releases have fallen
and-
flat.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that some other
Yeah.
time. I agree with you though that the new releases are kind of dying out. But anyway, it's all back to the whole thing about Sony marketing it correctly.
Yeah.
If Sony can figure out a way to do this biometrics thing like just perfectly, I don't know
Fucking
how they would do that.
Even though,
that's a
like-
miracle in my book.
Yeah.
That's a miracle. Like if they can, because like, it's like, it'd be like marketing for
No, keep going.
okay.
I was just moving.
No, but like if Sony were to market that, right? Like
Yeah.
if they were actually able to achieve like proper sales figures
Mm-hmm.
from the result of marketing this controller and this console properly,
Right.
like holy shit. Like can you imagine like everyone just rushing to stores being like, "Oh yeah, fucking I want my heart to be monitored and shit."
Well, they have to pitch it very, very.
Let's even look
very
at
well.
the bigger picture here. Like, PlayStation done this, like Sony does this and does it well. That adds another gimmick to them, and that makes more games has to be more specific to PlayStation.
Okay, what do you
and
mean?
it's
What do you
just
mean?
Well, yeah, that's
it's
the entire-
further dividing the consoles.
Well, yeah.
Less platform, like cross-platforming.
But that's
Oh,
what
I
I'm. That's
see.
what. That's
I
what.
see.
That's what I'm thinking though. Is that's what Sony's trying to do. Is because if you if you look at how Nintendo like for example, if you look at how Nintendo like came about like marketing the Wii U, they're like, okay, we've got this new console. It's got like a huge screen. You play games with two screens,
That's
and then
their-
everyone goes, "What the?"
Okay, no. At
fuck?
first, the way they marketed it at E3 2011 was just the controller. They just showed off the controller.
Yeah.
They didn't show off the system. And when at the time I was working at EV Games, and I was like, just trying to hype it up. I was like, have you heard of Nintendo's new console? This is awesome. It's like it's new generation. It's got super good processor. Graphics are gonna be brilliant. And people are like, what? Isn't that the thing? Just the addition to the Wii? Isn't it just that new controller for the Wii?
Yeah.
I believe
No,
I said that
it
many
isn't.
times.
Yeah, you've said that to me a bunch of times. And I was like, no. It's the next generation. We're talking about Gen 8 now. This is the next step. This is what everyone's been waiting for. And they're like, well, it just looks like a controller. E3 2012 comes around, and then they're like, yeah, there was confusion about it. this is the actual thing. Here's the console plus the controller, and here's some footage for like 1080. Here's New Super Mario Bros. U. Here's, I think they even showed off Pikmin 3. Here's whatever. And they're like, this is a new experience. This is brand new. This is not the Wii.
Yeah.
And at that point, people were like, oh, okay. But, Nintendo had that bad vibes, or that bad rap since the Wii. Exactly, and like their whole casual market audience.
That really pisses me off, by the way. But we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that some other time as well. But it was like that first pitch to the audience, and they didn't get it. Even though it was so blatantly, like, to us, well, maybe not even you, to us, me and Lolo, that it was a new console, and this was the next plunge.
Okay, to be honest, I will say, when Nintendo first talked about their Wii U, it didn't show a lot of promise to me. And initially, I was like, I don't want to get it.
No, okay, I agree with you.
Then upon release, and when I started looking at footage of it, and I started like reading more into it, I was like, I want this fucking console
exactly.
right now.
I was skeptical as fuck to begin with as well, because I'm a huge Nintendo fan, and I pretty much pick up anything that they release.
Yeah.
But even I was skeptical about the Wii U, because I was just like, well, in essence, it's like a DS.
Yeah.
It literally is like a DS, and I wasn't sure how they were gonna do this. I was gonna pick it up. I was skeptical though. I wasn't sure if I was gonna be wasting $350. Right now, I love the thing. I am so happy I made that purchase. I'm so happy I made that plunge. But
best Christmas ever for me.
Yeah, it was awesome. But again, it was about like that first pitch, people didn't get it, and then that immediate like, this is what we actually meant. Like that's that kind of like that saving your ass kind of before everyone just jumped the boat.
Yeah.
Because after the first announcement of the console, I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but their stocks kind of dropped.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not significantly, but it was enough to make people go like, oh shit.
The fuck?
And that was when they started doing like their Nintendo Direct conferences and like showing off new content and whatnot. And I think the stock drop actually spawned the Nintendo Directs, because they're like, okay, well we need audiences to know this new content, these new games, these new features.
I just picture like Shigeru Miyamoto just being like, oh shit! Fuck guys! Well, this new console isn't working out so well. Fucking fix it!
Yeah. Sorry, just grabbing a pop. Okay, so you were gonna say something?
But going back to the whole, like, anti-cross-platform thing.
Yes.
Like, even rumors about the Xbox 720 is, like, it's gonna require Kinect. That we heard just today, actually.
Yeah, we heard that just
today. You heard that, sorry.
Okay, this is just a rumor, but it was from, like, a credible source, saying that the new codename Durango, Xbox 720, whatever the hell, Xbox 362... Xbox 720, whatever.
I love it. I
love
it. Send that to PR.
Yeah. Guys, this is going to sell. Xbox 362. Anyway.
All the frat boys, yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
The Xbox 720 is going to come shipped with a second generation Kinect, in which it actually detects thumbs now and emotions on your face, which is, again, what?
I don't want to make that sound, but I...
Yeah. But, that it'll be shipped with all the Xbox 720s, and also, they have to be plugged into the system in order for the system to work at all. At all.
Like, it's just all these gimmicks that are just gonna keep dividing the gaming industry. And
I don't think it's gimmicks, it's just like...
Well, it is gimmicks.
It is gimmicks.
Well...
They're totally not necessary at all.
Well, no, they aren't necessary, but I don't think gimmick is the right word to describe them.
What would you describe as them?
Yeah.
Well...
Like
that's the thing though, is it's one of those things
dictionary.
where it's one of those things where it's like
arduous control input.
Sure.
Yes.
Arbitrarily silly controller.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just gonna keep dividing, like, and companies are gonna have to pick sides, and that sucks.
Right, we were talking about this the other night in that, okay, so say this generation...
It's the same thing, sorry. On that note, it's exactly like what's happening with Rayman Legends.
In that, like, each console version is going to get its own distinctive version, essentially.
No, but not only that, it was the fact that, like, Ubi was originally just going to release it as a Wii U.
As a Wii U, yes.
As an exclusive.
Yeah.
And then...
They decided to multi-platform it.
They decided to multiply it, and I understand that, like, some people have been making the point that, yeah, like, if you look at it, like, it's not, like... Ubi's making a game for a console that's not going to meet sales figures, so of course they're going to make it multi-plat then.
Right.
And then delay the game further. But honestly, I think, like, this is just me. And
yeah.
honestly, like, you can call this as skewed of an opinion as you want.
Yeah, go for it. What?
I don't really give a shit. Like, I honestly think that, like, Sony and Microsoft were breathing down their necks, and they're like, why the fuck aren't you making a game for a console?
You're probably right in that. You're
fuck
probably
is
right.
this? You're just gonna make games for Nintendo now? What about Ghost Recon?
You're right, because at
What
that
about
point,
Splinter Cell?
the new Ghost Recon, Zombie U, Rayman Legends, and there was another Ubisoft title were exclusive to the Wii U. You're right about that.
And then
a bunch of them were ported.
Yeah.
Like actually, I don't even think the Ghost Recon is coming out for the Wii U anymore.
No, it's
actually
not.
It may have been cancelled altogether. I don't know.
No, I think
Zombie U came out.
No, wait, Ghost Recon Online. I heard. I'm not sure if this is true.
Yeah.
But I heard Ghost Recon Online was gonna go for the Wii U.
Yeah, that was.
I have no idea why.
That was originally.
I have no idea why.
Yeah.
Just because like, it's already on the PC and as free to play.
Oh, Ghost Recon Online.
It's already on the PC as free to play.
I don't
so I'm,
remember.
I'm not 100% sure on this, by the way. So don't.
Okay, yeah.
But if they're releasing Ghost Recon Online for the Wii U, why? Why?
I don't know.
Because it's a free-to-play game for the PC, so automatically you just throw it on the pile with the other free-to-play microtransaction pay-to-win games.
Well, who would saying that it wouldn't be free to play on the Wii U? I mean, they do have the eShop. You just download it and then make.
Well, yeah, I know that's what I'm saying, but like I'm just thinking like why though? Because like if like are they gonna make separate servers to the Wii U then for online play? Because that's all it is just to play online.
Right. Yeah.
So like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna have it so that you can play online with cross-platform or like what's the objective? What's the?
I see what you mean. I don't know.
But
okay, back
to the point.
Yeah.
Like I was like
this
that's,
whole company.
That's honestly what I think it is. Is I'm almost positive that Microsoft.
And you know what? You're probably right with that. I agree with that.
But what bothers me even more is that if they're gonna make it multi-plat, why not on the PC?
Rayman Legends is coming for PC.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Because like all I heard was that it was going to be for the Wii U, PS3, and the Xbox.
Because I do remember seeing Origins coming out on Steam.
Yeah, no, it did come out on Steam.
Then that makes me think, why wouldn't Legends come out on Steam?
Well, that's what I think too. But
then
like,
we're probably right. About
all I've read about it so far is that it's going to be on the consoles.
Right.
And like, I'm sorry, like you're going to find this out about me, but like for the people who listen, I'm like honestly, I'm the biggest supporter of Steam. I think Steam is like
Steam is a brilliant idea.
Steam is beautiful.
Yeah, and the fact that they're so just awesome to indie developers. I love that. Like with the Greenlight thing now, oh, that is just superb.
But yeah, anyways, back to the point. If
like,
if it doesn't come out for the PC, I'm gonna automatically assume.
Well,
that
even just
like,
companies now just picking sides.
Yeah.
It's like it's gonna become like some kind of like a Ragnarok of.
Okay, yeah. So
gaming.
this is kind of what we were getting to in that. If each company does come out with their distinctive play style, like say, like 2 generations down the line, Nintendo has gotten like their I'm not even going to go into specifics because I'm not even going to be able to think of these. Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo all have their own distinctive gameplay. In that, you can't really have a multi-platform of one game unless the company is going to fund 3 different projects. Because you can't just have, like, you know how it is now.
So then there's going to be more exclusives.
Exactly.
So then that makes me wonder, are we going to go back to the days of, like, Banjo-Kazooie? Where games are made specifically for certain consoles. Like, Crash Bandicoot was for the PlayStation.
There were really only 2 dominating consoles at that point. There was the 64 and the PlayStation 1. And the Sega was starting to die down.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like there were games.
But now we have so many different platforms. We have, well, of course, we have the 3 main ones: Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo consoles. We have the handheld ones: the Vita, the 3DS. We have PC. We have iOS, Android. We have like even Ouya now. We have so many different platforms.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna go ahead and not include iOS, Android, and Ouya.
They are okay. As much as I don't want to include them, they're key in the gaming industry now.
I honestly think they're not relevant to the market right now.
I definitely think they are because there are some games that are even being ported, even being ported to iOS and whatnot. Rayman Origins, for example, that's on iOS.
Yeah.
See, that's exactly it. And when big companies like Ubisoft are going to port their huge franchises to handheld markets, like not even 3DS and Vita, but to like cell phones, that's when you know that as much as we don't want them to be relevant, they really are. It's all about the dollar. If they can make money off of any sort of platform,
Well, I guess that kind
They'll
of makes
make it
sense because when I saw Chrono Trigger on the App Store,
yeah. Let's think about how many platforms Chrono Trigger is out for now.
like, okay, don't get me wrong. I think like
Oh, the game is stellar.
it's, okay,
My favorite game of all time.
Well, yeah, no, we've had this discussion, but I'm saying like when you have a game like fucking Chrono Trigger that's been out for the Super Nintendo,
Yep.
PlayStation 1,
Yep.
like countless. Well, I guess if you want to count emulators, sure.
Emulators, PlayStation Vita, PSP,
PlayStation
Wii,
Vita.
DS,
Yeah.
iOS, Android. Yeah, it's out for like 7 different consoles now, or
And-
7 different platforms.
But then it's like, maybe it's just me, but after a game has sort of like I don't know, maybe a game like Chrono Trigger that's been like re-released on like multiple platforms, it really starts to diminish the artistic value of it.
Yeah, I
That
agree.
is actually really true.
The whole
Like-
selling thing on like I'm not sure if you guys remember this, but on the cartridge or on the packaging of the original Super Nintendo, they call it like the 32 meg quest begins, and then on all respective future releases, it's like a timeless classic reborn or revisited or something like that. And I love that. But yeah, there's only so many times you can revisit quote unquote a timeless classic.
Yeah.
Before it just grows old. Personally, I won't ever feel that because I don't know, I've gone through that game at least 40 plus times.
It's not going to be much longer before we see like Final Fantasy 13 on like the iPhone 5 or sorry, like
But
the iPhone 7.
No,
or
you're
some shit.
you're right with that though.
And then everyone's gonna be like, "Oh shit!"
You're right. You're exactly right. I don't like the way that gaming is going personally right now. I didn't really like Gen 6 where Sony where the PlayStation and Xbox 360 got like these like pretty much exact titles, like identical titles, save
Well, it
like
was,
you
like,
know Halo,
fillers.
Gears, and I don't know Uncharted and whatever. And the Wii got shit all.
Jack all.
Yeah, they got the casual market. Big third-party developers went for the more performance-based consoles, whereas the more casual market or casual developers went for the casual-based.
But you gotta think about it from the perspective.
Which makes sense. No, I agree.
You gotta think about it from like the hype point of it, right? Because like when they did like tech demos, right? Everyone was like, "Oh, these
Visuals.
graphics!
I agree.
Oh
Yes.
man! Oh man! Imagine when we're playing like Halo.
That was the
4.
one thing that really sold the consoles was at first, yes, the visuals, and then the gameplay came afterwards.
Yeah.
But you can see though that Nintendo really showed showed everyone really that the Wii could do what those other consoles could do, and even more really. If you think about like say the Metroid Other M got a lot of bad hype. Can't deny that it was stunningly beautiful.
It's a good game.
Beautiful graphics.
I loved Other M.
And the gameplay. I loved Other M too. And the gameplay itself was so tight.
Yeah,
like
no.
if you played it, the side scrolling worked very well. The first person mode worked very well. Maybe they didn't interchange quite as well as that should have, but as respective, trying to be a third person to first person platformer,
Yeah.
it worked well.
Yeah, no.
That Donkey Kong Country Returns, the Mario Galaxy series, I don't really like them, but they are again stunningly
You didn't
beautiful.
like Donkey Kong Country?
No, Galaxies.
Oh, Galaxies. Okay.
They were stunning to look at. They controlled beautifully. They showed that the market doesn't need just 1080 visuals and just stupid recycled gameplay.
Yeah, it's more like because you got to think
The
think
way of
about
COD.
it. You got to think about like
The way of COD.
You got to think. Okay, you know what? Like we're gonna have
Another topic. That is a different topic.
We're like
We could have an entire discussion
Like,
just
yeah,
about the way of
just
COD.
just preemptive. Like I enjoyed COD 4, and I'm gonna talk about COD 4 very in depth at some point.
Yeah, no, I
We're gonna
agree.
have-
COD
we're
4
gonna-
was good.
No,
After
no,
that,
no,
five.
No, like we're not.
Not just not the zombies.
We're gonna
Yeah.
talk. We're gonna
Anyway.
talk entirely about COD at one point, and I'm
Not in this conversation.
No, not in this conversation. I'm gonna divulge into like every
Yeah.
single
I
but
will argue it. Yeah.
yeah. But
Anyway,
anyways,
continue.
But I think like the biggest theme, I guess, like the overall idea, is that like in this generation of consoles, right? When we first had a look at like the spectacle of it, and we decided developers decided like, oh yeah, we're gonna make all these like visually impressive games, right? Like eventually, what it came down to was like, okay, like we understand that like the visuals is what's selling these games.
Yep.
And we're understanding that like simple gameplay is fine for gamers right now. Because the moment those visuals, like the moment they did those tech demos, there was a huge rapid growth of casual gamers.
Yeah.
I think personally. Because even to gamers like us, like really like seasoned veterans.
Yeah.
I guess if you want to call us that, like seasoned veterans. Anyways, like we were like holy shit, like
oh, of course,
these are some fucking impressive graphics. Like this is some next level shit.
Look at those textures. Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Like when you look at a game like Smash Bros. Melee, and then you compare that to that tech demo for what was it? Oh, it was some Robotech game or something for the PlayStation 3. It got shitty reviews, but damn, it looked pretty.
Was it?
I don't know. Anyways, the point of the matter was like you looked at that and you're like, holy shit.
Or even like the new interesting dynamics, like take Battlefield Bad Company 1, like destructible environments.
Well, okay, I think it
normally
was more,
you like.
I think it was more
oh,
just
blew up in the
wall.
The wall
new
blew up.
Physics.
Yeah.
The new physics engines is what really sold it, because
Thanks,
that
Havoc.
allowed.
Thanks, Havoc.
Thanks, Havoc. Unreal, Havoc, you guys bros. Okay.
5. Okay, sorry.
Because it all came down to the performance of the systems. That was what really told the game engine makers how much that they could do before, maxing out the CPU and GPU.
Yeah.
That was the limit. And because of that, they were able to put in, say, okay, so the console has 512 megabytes of RAM. Okay, let's dedicate 300 of that to the textures.
Yeah.
Whatever. That really defined what that is.
Yeah.
And without that, I think a lot of people are just overlooking that. Because those same game engines wouldn't be able to run on the original Wii, because it lacked the fast enough processor and a good enough GPU with enough RAM to support them, and that's why. But
I don't. I feel like Nintendo, like, this is just like, I have a theory about the Wii, and like that theory is pretty much just like, I think Nintendo made the Wii specifically for their games. And like I know I might catch a lot of flack for this. Don't fucking tear me apart.
okay, what do you mean? Like, obviously they're gonna make exclusives for the titles, but what do you or for their console? But what do you mean?
I think I know what you're saying.
No, like when you think about like the level of polish in like Twilight Princess.
Yep.
And compare that to like Red Steel. If we're talking just on polish and like design,
just visuals or
just visuals and like sheer appeal.
okay, yep.
Like, look at how well Twilight Princess plays as a game.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to like
Red Steel.
Compared to like Red Steel and stuff like that. It's obvious that Nintendo puts like a more genuine and deep level of care and polish in their games.
Oh, of course they do. Which is why all the Nintendo games take so long to come out. But
when you see that, and you could and you kind of make that comparison, it seems so obvious that Nintendo like knows what they're doing. Like it seems that they're just like, okay, here's the Wii, here's a Zelda game, here's a Mario game. Look at how fucking amazing they are on our console.
right.
And those games over there. Oh, don't worry.
And
about
they know
them.
that they know that same experience can't be experienced anywhere else, which is why they do that.
Yeah.
Which is why they do that, because one, it's their own platforms, their own IP. They want it to be as good as possible.
Yeah. Like it seemed like they were more concerned about the games that they were developing, than the other games that were being developed for it. Like they were like, oh yeah, cool, Ubi, you can make Red Steel, I guess. That'd be nice.
I suppose. You did see a few of the really good ones, like say No More Heroes and The Conduit. Oh man, The Conduit blew me away.
But honestly, I think those were just flashes in the pan.
I agree.
In my opinion.
You know, I'm gonna agree.
They're
with you
great
on this.
games. They're great games.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think they're great, but I think it was just sort of.
But you can't deny though that Sony, I can't really say the same for Microsoft because they don't really have any they have Halo.
Not anymore, anyway.
Well,
actually, they still do.
Yeah.
I love just that moment, like, well, fucking Microsoft.
Okay,
man.
we can't deny Halo looks good, but in comparison to say Sony's IPs, like say Uncharted, which absolutely I say visually, Uncharted is like 5 years ahead of its time.
Well,
Okay, maybe not today, but when it first came out. Uncharted 2, oh my god, that blew me away.
It's a wonderful game.
It, like, not even, like, gameplay or whatever. Like, I played it for visuals and story.
I feel the second is the best of the three.
Story-wise.
Well, yeah.
Visually,
story-wise.
Uncharted 3. But, okay,
Well, yeah.
the reason for that is... And I'm quite sure I heard this correctly, and I'm quite sure I read this properly, but the Sony's console, the PS3, is ran under not like a normal, like a core processor like, say, the Wii and the Xbox.
Yeah, no, it's...
It was ran under cells,
Yeah.
in which, like, think of it as
Like
like a
cell-
single core, but multi-threaded.
Yeah, no, it's like, if you think about, like, NVIDIA's CUDA technology.
Exactly, that's
it's
exactly it, yeah.
sort of based
Just
on...
sort of
it's based
mostly
upon
threads.
that.
In that each core or each cell would have a specific design task. So like cell 1 would have you load all of the textures. Cell 2 you load all the audio.
Yeah.
Cell 3 you handle all the sound effects. So on and so forth. Where it's like physics engine, AI, blah
cells,
blah blah.
Cells
They had a
almost
specific task.
They act almost like cores in a processor. Almost like...
Almost like
Yeah.
which is why I'm saying they're more threads.
Yeah.
But they only gave 6 of the 7 cells to developers,
Yeah.
leaving that 7th cell available only to the Sony developers themselves.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Uncharted is so ahead of all of the other titles that come out on PS3 because
have
of
an
that.
extra cell.
Because they have that
one
extra cell. I don't know what that extra cell could do.
I don't
I've-
think... I don't know. Maybe this... I don't know. To me, it sounds just a little far-fetched that, like, one cell would make that much of a difference.
Hey,
especially when you think about,
who
like...
knows?
Especially
if
when,
you
compare,
compare Uncharted, compare Little Big Planet, compare what are some other Sony titles?
Sly Cooper.
Well, there really wasn't Sly Cooper on
the fourth
PS3.
one was
yeah.
bad.
What's another God of War?
God of War 3 was beautiful.
Well, yeah,
I'm not gonna
but-
deny that. It was a dumb game. Beautiful though.
What's it?
Well,
I'm
it was just more like they...
It was
really-
more of the same shit.
Well, yeah, it was all the same shit. They just improved the animations a lot.
Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet K. Fucking K. Ratchet
Actually,
Clank was
okay, you're
really
right.
fucking nice.
Future Tools of Destruction. That was fun.
And Crack in Time. Crack in Time was
Time
the
was sweet
most
as well.
like it was the most refined of
Yeah. Okay.
the PlayStation.
Okay.
3
Well, think
games.
about it. Those games, in comparison to any other third-party titles that came out,
Yeah.
they blew them away.
Yeah.
They absolutely did. And I think
But you don't think they would deliberately just like
I do.
cut, like,
I do, because think about if you're relating that to Nintendo. Nintendo puts that exact same amount of polish. You will never see the same amount of quality in a third-party game as you would as a Nintendo published game.
Okay, I see. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, you prove a valid point, I would say.
And, like, I just went more into specifics with Sony because I have that rumored knowledge. Whereas I don't know what it is with Nintendo. Maybe they do have, like, a mythical 7th core or whatever.
Nintendo's just
Oh,
like
hail the seventh
Nintendo's just
core.
like they are asking too much questions. Eliminate them.
Yeah.
It's a secret to everybody.
It's a secret to everyone. But you see what I'm saying, though.
Yeah,
right?
no, I do.
But
I
okay,
definitely-
Microsoft doesn't exactly have really many IPs that
Yeah,
absolutely.
there
like,
absolutely is none. There was
like they have exclusive
there was Two
content.
Human.
Like, well, that's exclusive though. That wasn't
Gears of
developed
War,
by
bro.
a Microsoft studio.
Yeah, that's right, and it's done anyway.
Gears of
It's
War.
done, yeah.
Sadly.
But like I'm talking about, like Gears of War. That wasn't a Microsoft exclusive studio. That was
Well, Gears of War 1 came
That was
out for the PC.
not Gearbox. That was Epic. That was
Right.
Epic Games.
Yeah.
And they're making games for Gears of War 1 was for PC as well.
But I think
You're
But I think it was another studio that ported it to PC. I think.
Regardless, though,
Yeah.
It really
the
just
fact that it wasn't an exclusive to Xbox.
really
Yeah.
just Halo,
Halo, Fable.
Fable. No,
I don't think.
Fable
Well,
2 and 3 are developed by in-house Microsoft studios.
I guess you could say fucking Connect Games by Rare. Thanks.
No, you're right. No, Connect Games by Rare.
Yeah,
Yay.
let's just cut our wrists
Let's
while we
just-
talk about that.
yeah. Let's not talk
Well,
about.
that's
it.
another-
Risk me
that is
getting
another-
really
We're gonna.
mad.
Okay, you know what? Okay, let's make it like official. We're gonna talk about Rareware one day.
We will.
We're gonna-
Absolutely.
Oh, we're gonna talk about Rareware
Okay.
one day.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Anyway,
Fuck.
another exclusive studio.
Real, I can't think of any, to be honest.
Hold on. Let me think. There's got to be one. Like
No.
Well, Bungie's gone now.
Bungie's
They can
gone.
do their own. They're doing their own shit.
Look, okay, let's think franchises and studios.
It looks like Activision's kind of veering towards them. I think at some point, like in future ventures, they might do something.
The future. I'm talking
See,
about now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the whole splitting of the splitting of the
Yeah,
companies
that goes
I'm
back
talking
to
about.
the splitting
Like,
of the companies.
people are veering this way.
diverse, their own diverse gameplay, in that companies are.
I have to get up and pee. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
we will continue
Yeah,
talking.
we'll continue talking.
Like,
Okay, so yeah,
and I think a lot of the reason why
the consoles are going to have their own derived control style, and the major studios, the developers, are going to have to pick a side to what they want to develop for, because they're not going to have enough funding to develop 3 different games.
exactly.
They just won't be able to. And I mean, like, okay, maybe Ubisoft, Activision, EA, maybe they will because they have enough funding to do so. But again, that's
But
going to
even
take.
then,
That's
there's
going
going to be significant
studios.
pressure.
There is. It's going to take 3 different studios, so that takes away from time from any other projects that they want to do, but also the funding of 3 different games.
Yeah,
And say one
simultaneously.
and say one development process, like say, like, let's just use the 720 PS4 and Wii U for example. Say the Wii U version takes significantly less or more time to develop for, then that'll either delay the release schedule or make them lose money in that they haven't launched it and it's completely ready while waiting for the other titles to launch.
Yeah.
Because if it is the same title, if it's like, you know, say Call of Duty 900, and
Totally possible.
Totally possible. Call of Duty 900, and they have to launch it at the same time.
Right.
Because if they were to launch Call of Duty 900, say September 9th, October 10th, and November 11th, examples. One is going to sell more than the other, and they are going to lose a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed that sound.
I did.
That was a great sound.
Yeah, no,
Wonderful sound. I wonder if I picked it
bet
up on the
that-
microphone.
I really hope the microphone picked up on that. Just to
We'll-
show like the level of amateurity in this.
We'll figure it out. Anyway.
Sorry if you hear this.
Anyway.
Must be the new guy.
Okay,
And I
well,
don't-
okay, let's go back to the original topic in that
The one
Sony has to market their biometric touchscreen sensor properly.
It's going pretty far back.
Because because that was our main topic.
Oh, right.
So
Go on.
they have to market it exclusively well. And maybe they even have to do what Nintendo did and they have to come back to it.
Well,
like if they don't
they have to make a fan base.
they do have to make a fan base.
They
And
have
there are the Sony fanboys out there that'll defend it like no
I
tomorrow.
have never met one.
Oh, I've met a couple.
Really?
Yes.
Can you
Oh,
point
they're
me in their
fun.
general directions?
So you can punch them?
Yeah. Because, well, you're a Nintendo guy, but, like, you're not... Like, Nintendo's there, but it's not as a direct conflict between Microsoft and Sony.
Right.
We are more blatant. So I've never met a Sony person. I never got to be able to express my Microsoft rage on... completely.
Micro Rage?
Micro rage.
Retrosoft?
Soft rage.
Ragerosoft?
Rajo soft.
Anyway.
We don't ramble in these things, do we?
No.
No.
And we have
None.
scripts.
This is scripted, guys.
This is
this
so-
is
this is-
100% scripted.
Even now. This us talking about the script is scripted.
Not really. Yes. Really.
Right. So fucking that controller.
Yeah,
Fucking.
that controller.
Right.
But then this leads into my next topic, I suppose you could call it. If you look at it, the control styles, like say Sony goes with this biometric sensor and touchscreen. Okay. Nintendo has the gamepad. Okay. Motion control, touchscreen, a webcam for some reason, and, you know, all 16 face buttons. 2 analog sticks. You know, a controller with a touchscreen. And then Microsoft goes this route with the Kinect 2.0 in that it has to always be connected, but...
He connected. Anyway,
Kinect.
that was awful. Anyways, I'm sorry. I just thought I'd make light of that.
And that they also have maybe a slightly redesigned controller.
Probably not very redesigned.
Probably not very redesigned. Like, say, like the
It's a pretty
Xbox
good
original to
controller
the
as it is.
360 controller. Not very much changed.
But
But it was enough to make it
to the
significant.
Xbox original to the 360.
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty significant.
That-
It wasn't
Okay.
very much, but it was significant.
Okay,
Oh, you don't have an Xbox.
After.
Oh, I know what
I was
it
gonna
I know
just- I was
exactly
just
what
gonna
it looks
about
like.
to go up
Okay,
and
no,
yell.
think about it. You have black and whites moved to bumpers, and just scale form.
But
None of
Argue it.
the significant difference that it made those different.
Was the handles.
No. Like in gameplay,
Yeah.
black and white was like down here.
Moved to bumpers. I said that already.
Look how.
2 buttons relocated and its scale form changed. That's all that happened really.
But if you But to me, like, I feel like...
But again, okay, I'm saying that's all that changed, but it was significant. It was significant enough to become one of the most successful controllers ever.
Mm.
I'm not denying that. It was.
Still is.
Debatable. That's another debate.
Go on.
Well, no, like...
Controller debate is some other time.
Try me.
But
Oh, God.
that's really all that changed. The shape and the relocation of two buttons that became
No,
bumpers.
but I honestly think that the shape, like, I agree with the shape change. Like, that's one of the. That's
yeah,
one of
that
the
was
major
that was
changes.
what really made it because it fits in the hand.
Yeah, like if you
As opposed to
like
the original, which made your hands bleed.
if you hold on to, the original Xbox Mini controller,
You somehow get holding on to it.
Holy shit! Because
Yeah.
I recently ordered Conquer Live and Reloaded from eBay,
Right.
and then I digged up and found my dust covered original Xbox. And like I tried the original controller and holy
Yeah.
hell, it feels awkward.
It's almost as bad as
Master.
the
No, it-
Dreamcast controller.
No, it feel like the Dreamcast controller feels better.
It's pretty bad.
It is the Clunk
It is
Master.
so awkward. Like
Yeah.
it hurts. How
It's a
awkward it is.
massive
It
thing.
was massive. It was awkwardly shaped. Microsoft redesigned it brilliantly.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Though.
We
Like,
can't deny that.
But I'm saying that
Yeah.
that big of a change is why I think that like it's not just like oh yeah it's pretty much the
Well,
same.
okay, I'm
Like,
comparing.
I
I'm comparing it
think
to.
it's-
Okay, you guys are saying it's ridiculously significant. They changed everything.
Well,
And I'm arguing. Okay, well, let's think of Nintendo in that they changed their controller literally every generation. Like none of the buttons stay the same. Like yeah, they're A, B, whatever. But I'm talking about like
Well-
their location, the shape of the controller, the play style. It's
Yeah.
all different.
Yeah, no.
okay.
But
I'm
that's-
saying in comparison to that.
But that's kind of Nintendo's homage is sort of like they're like constantly.
yeah, well, revolutionizing
I guess you could call it revolutionizing.
or
innovating.
Innovating. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
But like it's whatever term you decide to coin, inevitably it's still like Nintendo does shit differently all the time.
They do, but that's what that's what I was kind of comparing
better or
the
for worse.
for better or for worse, yeah. But that was what I was kind of getting to, in that the original Xbox versus the 360 controller, not really much had changed. Not
In
like
term,
not a
if
ton.
we were talking about in terms of layout,
layout and layout essentially.
Yeah.
layout is
'cause
pretty much the only thing that's
YXAB,
has not
two
changed.
analogs.
Analogs one higher than the other. A
Just-
D-pad below the left analog stick, and then the change from the white and black to L and R bumpers.
Yeah, but I mean, as like essentially aside from that, like it's generally like the same.
Very similar, yeah.
But I mean,
But okay,
if-
then
if
that
we-
goes
but-
back to.
But
what,
if we were talking like in terms of like what makes them different, then holy shit, like
Yeah.
the
no,
actual-
significant. I agree.
the shape
That's a different
itself.
conversation.
Yeah, I know.
We'll do a controller conversation because that is a huge topic. That is obviously a huge topic. The thing is though, is that if Microsoft is going to be going Kinect, I couldn't see them going Kinect only. They're obviously going to have a controller like the Wii U has the Pro controller.
Honestly, I really hope like this is just because like I really hate consoles in general.
You kind of hope they do.
I kind of hope they stick with
They stick with
full
just
Kinect.
the Kinect.
And then
Full Connect.
no, like if they go
Oh.
full Kinect, I just want to see like. I want to see everybody like in their dorm room with all of their frat boy friends, just like sitting
Jumping around.
Like, yo, bro, I got the 5 kill streak, bro, on Call of Duty. Okay, bro. Yo, bro, fucking this Kinect shit's brilliant, bro. Just like
Okay, if
I don't know. That's what I hope. That's
if
what I
it
hope.
can actually detect thumbs, I don't know about fingers. If it can detect thumbs, then that's already a start for having like holding a virtual controller. As dumb as that sounds, let's okay. Just take me seriously for a second. Just take me
No,
seriously.
no, no. I'm taking it seriously.
'Kay.
I'm just imagining it right now.
People holding a virtual controller, like what I'm doing right now. I'm making a shape of a controller in my hands, and pushing buttons, pretending to move the analog sticks as if I would a normal controller. If it can detect thumbs and fingers, then I guess that would eliminate any kind of controller system that you would have to use, and that would become very, very weird because having something in your hand is just
No,
so much
they would
better.
never do that.
They wouldn't ever do that. No, which is why I'm saying they have to have a controller to go along with the Kinect 2.0.
Yeah.
With the statement though that the Kinect 2.0 has to stay connected to the console at all times.
What I think that is just like everyone's gonna have a Kinect,
I think
Right.
they just really
and
want
the developer can use the Kinect because that's a lot of the Kinect's problem is that no one wanted could utilize it. They just had those shitty Kinect
So
games.
like, what if?
Well, because it was all limited to what the Kinect could actually do. Because all it could do was, because, you know, people were imagining all these, like, first-person shooters and whatnot, and, like,
Yeah.
you know, that wasn't possible with the original Kinect. Because all it did was just depict a wire skeleton.
yeah.
Like, just, here's the head, here's the body, arms, and, sorry, legs.
Yeah.
And that's all it was. Like, it wasn't, like, you know,
But you know
the
what?
shape
maybe,
of it, and it wasn't, like, digits on your hands.
But you know what? Maybe the reason why Microsoft is doing this, maybe the reason why they're like, so like adamant about like wanting to keep the Kinect like as a whole with the unit, is because like they want their product to be identified, right? Because like think about
Right.
like Nintendo has their Wii U gamepad.
Yes.
That's what defines their console. You
Right.
don't get that in any other console.
No, you don't.
Sony has like
Biometrics?
they have their okay. Well, let's just assume for their case because I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, I know.
They have their biometric controller, and that's what you get with the PlayStation 3.
And
then with the
iToy, whatever.
Sure. then with the Xbox, it's the Kinect.
Right.
That's what defines the
Right.
Xbox. That's what makes
That
the
is
Xbox.
definitely what they are probably
I wouldn't
doing.
say that's what makes the Xbox.
Well, no, but what if?
Oh,
what
for
if?
the new
But it's like
console,
it's
yeah,
its
yeah, yeah, I
it's
see.
its new it's its thing. It's
the
gimmick.
new. It is the new. All right.
it's its appeal.
Yeah.
Okay, just to
It's
diverse
the
for a
appeal
second.
of
Just to
the
diverse for a second. We'll cut right back to this. What do you think Sony's going to do with the Move?
I think they're gonna. I think
They
they're gonna
have to
scrap
trash it.
They're going to drop it?
They
They're
sh-
gonna- I think they'd be better.
if there
off-
is a decent bone in their body, they will trash it.
Okay. All right.
'Cause-
Anyway, back to what we were saying.
Ugh.
I just wanted to see what you guys said about that.
no, because well,
It's just weed.
it's the Wii on the PlayStation and it completely crashed, and
Yeah.
no developer wanted to work with it. They made Killzone 3 for it, and everyone was like, okay. Give me
I
the
didn't
control-
su-
I bought it.
Give-
I bought the Doomsday edition
Yeah.
of Kill
And it
not
sucked.
Killzone, of Resistance 3.
I remember playing it.
And it wasn't
It was awful.
okay, it was pretty bad. It
I
wasn't
hated it.
terrible.
No, I-
The sharpshooter, sure, like it really made up for how bad it would have been without. But it was still pretty bad, and I got bored of it fast. One, because it's Resistance, and two, because it was just dumb.
Resistance 1 was a good game. The other, at least I thought.
I thought it was appealing.
But the other two, I don't know. Sorry.
Off topic.
Yeah.
My point was just like, do you think, along with, say, a biometric scanner on their main controller, that they're going to have another motion controller, like a specific motion controller? 'Cause, you know,
I think
well,
I think they're gonna scrap it, and
Think
I think
so?
they're gonna really like push this new controller.
You
'Cause
think
it
they're gonna
seems-
scrap motion altogether?
Well, no, I think of course they'll incorporate it in some
Yeah.
way with their 6-axis controller,
Right.
but like, because I feel like they're gonna refine that and then add that with like this multi-touch bullshit that they've got on it as
yeah.
well. Like I feel like that's what they're gonna do. That's what they're gonna push towards with their console, and they're gonna try and like make that as like a sort of way to identify with the PlayStation.
Right.
4.
It's all about identifying, like, this is why we're different, kind of thing.
That's
Well, it's
exactly,
all about
and
individual-
Nintendo's
it's all about
always
individ-
been like that. Nintendo's always been like that because, for better or for
Well, they've
worse,
stuck out like a sore thumb.
that's
the
exactly
whole
it. They pretty much introduced that entire motion gaming. Motion gaming wasn't popular until Nintendo really said, "Hey guys, here's the Nintendo Wii," and
then-
that hit the world like a fucking meteor.
And then,
Everybody wanted a Wii, so everybody got a Wii.
Mm-hmm.
And then they realized that aside from the Nintendo-based games, you really wouldn't get that same hardcore quote-unquote
I
experience.
remember having to wait. I waited a year and a half before I could finally get my hands.
That
on
was
a Wii.
exactly it. It was the hype that Nintendo brought because motion control was the future.
Mhm.
Coming from the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox original, we would not have imagined motion control being the next step, right?
No.
No.
Not, well, I mean, no, as in I'm disagreeing with you.
Oh.
Because think of the iToy.
Yeah,
That was so, like, basic, though. Like,
Yeah,
you-
but it was basic, sure.
Oh, okay, no,
But everything
was,
starts
it
with
was
a prototype,
arcade.
and it was
It paved
it
the
was
path.
it was arcade.
it was like the first stone.
It
in
was
which
arcade
built.
though. That's the thing.
That doesn't matter.
You saw that same exact thing in the arcade in that it was watching you and you were interacting.
Then that was the the
Yeah,
start.
it was. But no.
But then
no,
that
I-
brought
no,
it to the
But
console.
no, you're just more solidifying my point in that Nintendo made it popular.
Okay, yeah. Nintendo made it
Because
Like-
as soon as they announced it and showed what you could do with it, their first prototype for Zelda Twilight Princess, going back to the Twilight Princess, and Mario Galaxy. Not that Galaxy really had much motion control, but even still, just showing it off, it just blew everyone away. As well as a pointing device.
I remember the genuine
Pointing.
confusion from the consumers when it was like, when they were talking, when it was originally called the Nintendo Revolution.
Revolution, yeah.
And like, they were like, here's our controller! It's a white stick! And everyone's like,
The fuck, a white stick, you high? Yeah.
that looks like a TV remote. What the fuck you want me to do with this shit?
And that was exactly what it was. It was a TV remote, because you do have to point.
Yeah.
But it was also like that motion input, and that you could waggle. Because that's all it supported at the time, until the Motion Plus came out. But
The waggle.
controller talk, that's what's that tonight.
Because it could waggle.
No, it's not even. No, I just like.
This is a weird word.
No, I loved how serious you sounded. You're just like
Waggle.
It was the waggle.
It was the
What's
waggle.
the waggle?
It was the
Twilight,
waggle.
okay, Twilight Princess.
We're
What
not
did you do?
arguing that. It's just.
What did you do? You waggled the fuck out of the Wii remote. You ran around, you fucking pushed the control
not
stick
arguing
forward and
that.
just shake
It's
your
just
hand
how
like
it
a
was-
belligerent fool. You did.
It's just how you said it. Just
And you have the waggle.
And you
the
have
waggle.
You got the
It's
pointing.
such a silly word.
You got the pointing and you got the waggle.
The waggle.
You
It
do.
was good.
It was-
Anyway, I wanted to make light of that. Anyway,
That was.
I'll shut the fuck up now. Anyway.
But that was
No.
If I
I
may-
understand. I understand.
Yeah.
No,
your point
we
completely.
understand. It was just
Just that one word.
that silly word combined with a serious tone.
What a
and the
very
waggle.
Stimulating conversation. Game design is very essential, especially with the waggle. Fucking waggle!
Waggle. Could have word is waggle. Lol.
Hey,
No. No.
we're not putting that shit. Come on.
Sorry. I think we're done.
motion control versus just the standard controllers Sony and Microsoft had to offer.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's what made them different, and that's what made everyone want a Wii, because the Wii sold flawlessly
It did.
and when it first came out,
It's the best.
and it was the best-selling console of all time.
No, Nintendo DS was. It still is.
Console, not handheld.
It's still considered a console by some
Different
by
market.
most.
Different market.
It's still considered a console.
Whatever. A home console that you connect to your fucking television.
Okay, then yes. Under that notion.
It is a console, not a handheld system.
Oh my god. Okay, whatever.
Whatever. It was the
Handheld
best-selling home television connecting video game system. Machine. Thank you.
Yeah, you can. There's ways to get your Nintendo DS and the TV.
People wanted the Wii.
The look on Joe's face is one of contentment and just pure inner agony.
No, I know.
People wanted the Wii. People bought the Wii. At first, PS3 didn't sell because of its ridiculous price point, $600. No one's gonna pay $600
Aside
for.
from the shitty games, but
And there were no games. That was my next point. And that there were no good games. There were no good games for it. Microsoft had Halo. Bam. They had Halo. They had
And Ghost Recon.
Ghost Recon.
Oblivion came out at the same
Oblivion.
time
Yeah, I
as
was about to say Elder Scrolls.
Oblivion was out on the PC too, so.
It was, but it was still
Oblivion
selling.
came out on the PS3 as well.
Yeah.
That was after
But
the
that
fact,
was
though.
like
That was
one of
after.
its launch titles.
That was after.
Because Halo and Oblivion came out at the same time.
Anyway.
Really, Halo 3 came out.
It was
Close to
a
that same
launch. It was a
time.
launch.
2007, 6, around there.
Many years ago.
Yep.
And bad games
7 years
came
now.
out.
Don't start.
So. Oh, here we go.
That. We have a lot of other topics to talk about. All that shit. Okay.
Can we end this conversation now? We can start talking about that.
No.
No. Just bask in it a little bit.
Okay.
Just take it in.
Relax the fuck out.
Take it in. Take it
Take a
in.
deep breath. Sit back.
Oh, that was
Just get your.
Just lie down.
Yes.
Lie down.
Yeah, lie down. There you go. Okay.
sharing a very beautiful moment here.
No, we're really not. We are really not. What was I even saying? I don't even remember what I was saying anymore.
Mission accomplished.
No, we were talking about launch titles for games and how...
Okay, no, as selling points for games, because at first it was the Wii, because of its just absolutely innovative game style.
Wii Sports and Twilight Princess.
Wii Sports sold the fucking system. That was the coolest shit.
And Twilight Princess.
And Twilight Princess, yeah. But that was the coolest fucking thing. Everybody wanted to try it.
Yeah.
And Xbox sold better than PS3 because it had its super exclusive titles and high definition graphics.
And it had a larger library.
Yeah, larger choice for the consumer.
Yeah.
And the PS3 had a high price point, but it was also a Blu-ray player.
Yeah, that I was just gonna say.
That was the
like
one thing, and that's the one thing that still defines the PS3 in comparison to the other consoles is that it was the.
We have Blu-ray.
Well, no, it's not even just the Blu-ray. Is that it pretty much merged a home theater system with a video game console, which I think a lot of people overlook because that was a huge selling point of the PS3.
Yeah, and initially when like with the PS2 and how you could watch DVDs on it.
That was massive.
Yeah, no.
That was ridiculous.
But the thing was is that I felt it was kind of overlooked as well.
Exactly, it totally was.
Because everyone was like, "Oh, you can watch DVDs on it." Oh yeah. I didn't.
I have a DVD player already. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody bought a PS2 to be a DVD player, but people bought a PS3 to be a Blu-ray player.
Because
Yeah.
Blu-ray
Because
was
up
like,
until a few years ago, even it was still the most affordable Blu-ray player on the market,
yeah,
which is insane to think.
yeah,
But
because Blu-ray was like such a thing,
mhm.
and it was just like massively expensive.
And I remember
was.
that was the one thing I felt like Sony marketed.
They nailed
correctly.
that right on the head, and
'Cause
that's
they were
why
like-
that is why a lot of people paid the $600 for one, the Blu-ray or the Blu-ray player,
Yeah.
as well as two, a high definition 7th generation gaming console.
Yeah,
Because you did get 2 in 1, and like sure you had to dole out the money for both of what they both would cost, you know, a Blu-ray player and being $300 and a game console being $300, whatever. But sooner or later they did drop the price for it.
But it's taken.
It took them a while.
It's taken this long now to
Yeah.
get a PlayStation.
And they're still
3
releasing new
at like
console version. I don't get it. Anyway,
yeah
that
like the
okay
Wii Mini.
because we're talking about selling points of the consoles at the time.
yeah.
Wii's innovation, motion control, unseen, beautiful. Microsoft's 360, affordable, very large lineup.
good.
Good. That was really it. What?
Good visuals.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Initially, good.
Initially,
good
whatever.
It's just
visuals.
you decide to add the beautiful at the end of the week.
Well, because that was what sold the Wii, and the Wii outsold the 360 by a fucking landslide.
Okay. That's fine.
I'm not saying beautiful to the visuals. I don't think that's. I'm talking about the innovation.
No, you just is.
I'm talking
So
about the
you're just
innovation.
like,
that was beautiful, in that
beautiful.
it sold so well.
And the Wii was beautiful.
Anyway. No, that's not what I was getting.
He's jabbing at your fanboyism just a little bit.
No, I was about to say that Microsoft also had a very, very good concept. Because they did, because the 360 sold as well.
Yeah, no, it did.
And then
It
the
did.
PS3, the one negative thing against the PS3 was its price. Otherwise, I think I honestly think if the PS3 was cheaper at launch, like they would have had to sell at a very, very large loss.
How much was the Wii at launch?
It was cheap. It was like
$300, I think.
$300.
If that, $250 to $300, $275 maybe, something like that. It was affordable.
It was like cheap. It was
affordable.
It was close to like the cheapest form of an Xbox, like the shitty arcade Xbox.
Xbox Arcade, yeah, which was $199. I
Right.
remember that. Yeah,
And the Elite was like
$300.
$300.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it may have been like $250 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
I totally forget how much it was at launch.
I think I do too, but I think it was $250. You can look this up and correct me if I'm wrong, but the two affordable consoles versus the third non-affordable console, but it did offer a lot more. In that it was a home entertainment system
So you
altogether as well.
So
The
you
other
had
selling
to
point-
ask yourself if it was the bang for your buck.
That was exactly it.
The other selling point too of the PlayStation 3 was the free online.
Online play at that point wasn't really a huge factor in it, though.
It was getting ground.
It was getting ground, sure, but nobody really played online up until, I would say, 2008.
Year after.
2 years after.
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was when really the whole online thing became popular.
Right. That's when COD.
I don't know what COD that was.
No,
I
COD 4.
Was that COD 4 2006?
COD 4 came
Or
out.
2008?
It was like the adjacent to Halo 3. I remember that for some reason.
COD 4 came out in 2006, I believe.
Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I believe so, yes. Okay, so
Yeah,
it's for the Nintendo Wii launch price was $280.
280. Okay.
Yeah, close.
I was close. Yeah, I said 275.
$250 in the U.S. surprisingly,
Oh, so I was right.
and apparently $4,500 in Mexico.
Pesos probably.
Yes, which is $410 in the U.S. equivalent, though,
Really?
which makes you wonder.
Whatever. So we were right with the price point.
Right.
That 250 to 300 mark.
Sorry, just one more. In Brazil, it was $2,399.
What? Not Brazilian dollars.
In Brazilian currency.
Yeah.
And the exchange on that would have been. Oh no! Wait, no, never mind. The exchange. Well, even then, the exchange was $274. But
Yeah.
the U.S. equivalent of that much money would be about $1,400.
What?
Yeah, no, it says right here on Wikipedia. I swear to God.
That's incredible.
Hmm.
Shit, whatever. We were
Verily.
we really only care about like the American and Canadian price because American translated to Canadian.
Really, we don't care about Brazilian prices?
Not
Guys.
really. I really don't actually. Not that I've got anything about Brazilian, just it doesn't
Hey,
really.
some of my best friends. are Brazilian.
Racist.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, I don't know. Alright, wait. I know.
Shut up. Before we get off.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I don't even remember.
What?
I was so busy looking
God.
up the price.
We were
Damn it.
talking about we launch just selling points of each console.
Right. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I made my point.
Right.
Pretty much.
Good point.
And that was. No, I didn't make my point because I was gonna end this with an absolute bang, and I don't even remember.
Darn.
Hmm.
That's
Darn it.
That's anticlimactic.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well, I think that would be a good time to end this.
Yeah.
How about them Yankees?
No.
Yeah,
No,
no.
no, shut the fuck up.
And so concludes.
Well, okay. It all started with the new redesign of the PS4 controller,
Right.
and kind of what we thought about the next generation control styles. Even though we don't have a confirmed style for the 720.
Mm.
And then we just.
Well, we did decide though. We did make clear that they are going to have a definitive controller,
Yes,
Yeah.
because
not just Kinect.
and if they don't, I'm
Then
just
they are
ostracizing Microsoft.
Yeah, they're screwed.
completely.
Because I don't know how you would totally market that.
Unless they like make that somehow and make it awesome.
Unless
But
we-
that's like such a
If it's just
underdog
thumbs
thing.
and facial expressions, they can't. No.
Maybe Rare's gonna come out and be like, "Hey."
Kinect Sports Season 3. Oh, that was a surprise.
What happened to you?
No, drop
You
it.
were beautiful.
They have none of the same developers from when
Okay, guys.
the golden days.
Guys.
What?
This is for next time.
Yeah, we'll have a rare discussion.
Shit. Yeah. Right.
Okay. Next time we'll talk about Rare.
Do we have a
Do we have a title?
Do we have yeah,
should have
like
a
a
title.
title for this series?
Let's-
Let's talk. Let's discuss.
No, that sounds really dumb.
Discussion of the thing.
Real talk.
No,
We can't do that.
No, we cannot.
Real talk.
Why don't
I can imagine just like getting like an email from JonTron or Aaron Hansen just being like, real talk?
Real talk.
Can't just fucking put that
Do
shit.
they
in
do
your
this
shit.
shit?
No, like in Game Grumps, like if they're ever like to the queue for like talking seriously is like real talk right now.
Oh,
Real talk is.
I see.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, we can't
No.
do
we can't do that unfortunately.
it. Okay.
Even though that'd be hilarious. But, let's look around the room.
No, let's not look around anymore.
Well, it's
Lamp
current.
hinge.
It is currently almost 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, it is. Wow.
What about like Insomniac?
I have to confirm that.
Insomniac chat or something.
4:20. It's 4:30.
Insomniac Gaming?
Insom
Like the studio?
Insomniac chat.
Insomnia chat.
The late talk.
Late talk.
4 lates.
Or just we Google just game chat.
They must have smelled the wine.
It is one.
God, seriously, like we're trying to get like a massive hard on for a name for the show, and then you just go and call it game chat and make
Fucking
it all
blue balling
flaccid.
us right now creatively.
Well, you guys come up with something better.
I have late talk.
No, that is dumb. Because what if we only talk when it's just late?
Then it's just late talk.
The amount of lates depend on how late we
You
actually
know what
get.
series this is?
Early talk, when like starts in the morning.
Just good morning, like sipping coffee. Like, Rare sucks.
No, rare sucks now.
RSN.
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 You are tuning in to RSN.
RSN, rare sucks now.
Wow, stay back.
It's like all of a sudden they start releasing new games again. So we gotta rename this podcast.
Oh, I don't know what dimension.
Rare
we live in.
sucked then.
No.
In this specific
Oh.
time frame.
And then you put in brackets the year frame. 2006 to 2013. Let's talk gaming.
I'll allow it.
It's basic, but it sends home the message.
I'll allow it. I'll
Yeah.
allow it.
Alright. Let's talk gaming.
Let's talk gaming.
LTG. LTG.
You like it?
LTG.
Alright, let's talk gaming.
LTG.
Alright.
Talk about gaming.
That's. You could only say it so many times.
Can I do the intro every time? Oh.
Let's
What the
not.
hell
Are you
is
gonna
that?
fall down every time?
Let's
Let's
after
talk-
every episode, like
Talk gaming.
No. Alright, we're going with Let's Talk Gaming then?
I suppose.
Alright. Well, this has been the first episode of Let's Talk Gaming. More, what was our initial topic?
our initial topic was the
Future of gaming.
More, well,
Well,
no. I started off with Sony has their conference on the 20th.
We didn't even talk about the conference.
Right, we didn't. We talked more about the controller because that's really what's going to sell.
Yeah.
Because all the system is going to be is just. new
I wonder if they're
hardware
gonna
upgrades.
pull a Nintendo and just show the controller at the conference.
It's not big enough.
Next time on LTG.